All right, so today we're going over building muscle with an upper body workout. Building muscle in our upper body using dumbbells. So what's the difference between building muscle and building strength? With strength training, we want to do more high weights, low reps. But what I really like about muscle building is you can do it with moderate weights and moderate reps. So a few more reps and not nearly as heavy on the dumbbells or on the barbell or whatever you might be using. But for today, we're going to be doing dumbbell. And I find that that's a much more forgiving style of training. With strength, it's very specific. With muscle building, it can be a little bit more general, or it can be definitely much more general. So today we're going to be doing all the major muscle groups of the upper body. So for this, I'd grab a set of medium dumbbells, something that's challenging, but not so heavy that you feel like it's hard on the very first rep. So for today, we're gonna start with an incline bench press. Now, I wish I had been doing these all along. I didn't start until just recently. And I found that this version of the bench press really hits those upper fibers of the chest in a great way, where it's changed how I've looked at this exercise. Also, I feel like this is a very practical movement because it helps you lift heavy things overhead, which I think is a really important muscle group that we can miss. So for this, we're going to use a bench press, or a bench rather, and you're going to want to go about 20 degrees. So that just gives that little bit of an angle to this movement. For a warm-up, I'm grabbing slightly lighter dumbbells than what I'm used to. If you aren't sure what dumbbell that's going to be, just start with about half of what you think you'd be able to lift. And then you can always go heavier. Or if you only have one dumbbell, just try about 10 reps and see how you feel after 10. So for a warm-up, this shouldn't be that difficult. It shouldn't be burning. It shouldn't be really stressing your body. We're just getting blood flow into the muscle. So for an incline bench, I'm going to be leaning back with my back flat against the bench, and I'm going to bring my hands wide to my elbow width. From here, I'm going to push down with my feet and arch my back slightly, and that gets that tension across my chest muscle. From here, I'm going to push up, keeping that arch in my back, going up and down. And now the important thing is I want to go all the way down to where my dumbbell is right at chest level. So almost touching my chest on the inside edge. If you can even tap it to the front of your shoulder. I'm doing about 10 reps of this. And just warming up that shoulder, that chest in an incline press. Let me get this out of the way just a little bit. So we're going to be doing these in a superset. So the next exercise, a superset is a pair of exercises that work opposite muscle groups. So we just worked the pushing muscles. Now we're going to work the pulling muscles with a bent over row. So I like to grab about the same dumbbell weight for both. So for this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hinge at my hips by pushing my hips back. So I'm bending my knees ever so slightly, letting my hips drive back. So I'm not bending from the back, I'm bending from the waist. And that will protect your low back. So from here, bending at the waist and letting the dumbbells hang. This is our starting position. From here, you're going to pull your shoulder blades back and pull up to your rib cage. And then come back, shoulder blades forward, and relax. That would be a rep. So it's up and then back. Just warming up those muscles. The important part is to come all the way back to a full hang. And 10. All right. So those are our first two exercises, and they cover a majority of the muscles in the upper body. We're getting all the chest muscle and the tricep with the first exercise, and then the bicep, the lats, the posterior deltoid, the rhomboids, all these muscles in the back of your shoulder blade. So with those two muscles, we cover a lot of the upper body. Then we're gonna focus in on some of the arms in the next set. But what we're gonna do is try for 3 sets of those 2 exercises first. So going back to the incline bench. So now I'm going to increase the weight of the dumbbell. I did a warm-up set, and now I'm going to go for a working set. And that means that this should be challenging to do. So our goal is to aim for more than 5 reps, but more reasonably, I want you to try and aim for about 10. Remember how I said it's more about moderate weight and moderate reps. So aiming for about 10 is a good target for building muscle. Actually, now that, let's see. So, going here, what I like to do for this exercise is have the weights on my legs and then use my legs to help kick them up into position. And that gets it right over the top of the shoulder. From here, hands wide, starting in that just on the outside of your shoulder where your hands are in line with your elbows, pushing out to the front, and then back, tap the shoulder, and then up again. So each time you tap the shoulder is 1 rep. So going for about 10 of those. If you can do more, do more. The goal is to go until you feel the muscle fatiguing. Should start to feel tired in that chest and the back of the arm. Breathing in as you go down and out as you go up. And that opens up your chest too, because you're filling your lungs with air. That pushes your chest muscle out. Just a little bit, but it does matter. If you can get more than 10, that's fine. Just go to where you feel tired. You should start to slow down as you push up and then relax. Now to get out of this position, just set the dumbbells on your knees and then tip up to the front. Let's see. So if you have any questions, let me know in the chat. We're gonna go to a rowing exercise. Just gonna slide this out of the way over here. So for a row, I like to grab the same weight of dumbbell. It's about approximately. So don't worry if you need to change the weights or can't do as many reps on one side, don't worry about it. Just go to where you feel tired in the muscle. So for a bent over row, feet about shoulder width apart, hinging at your hips, so push your hips out to the back, let your arms hang down. Your back should stay straight. From here, pulling up to your rib cage, and then back down, all the way down to the ground. The important part is that downward part of the movement. Going for about 10 of these. Show you from this side. So back straight, pulling up. It's almost like you're elbowing someone behind you. We're elbowing the ceiling. And relax. Now with doing this, I want to try and get my chest pointed straight at the ground. So if I'm up here like this, rowing, I'm not getting as effective of a workout as if I'm bent all the way pulling up. So the more bent forward you can be, the better. Whew. So it's okay to take a moment, catch your breath between sets. We're doing these in pairs of 2. So doing incline chest press and bent over row. Doing a set of, one of each of those is a set. Then we're gonna repeat that 2 to 3 times. If you're just starting out, try doing it twice and see how you feel tomorrow. If you've been doing this a little while, or you've been training with resistance training, whether it's dumbbells, cables, barbells, resistance bands, or calisthenics, try a 3rd set and see how you feel tomorrow. So I'm gonna set these here for just a quick second. And then move the bench back. Now, if your back hurts or is uncomfortable doing the row, another thing you can do is a supported bench row. So doing here, laying on your stomach, pulling up to the back like this. Still gonna get the same muscles, those pulling muscles, but it'll protect a little bit more of your low back. So if you have any sort of back issues, that's a great way of modifying this to be able to still do the exercise, still work your shoulders, but not have to worry about hurting your low back. Especially if you have sciatic pain, try doing this as a modification to that row. Works just fine. And I find it a little bit difficult for me just because this bar here gets in the way for me. So that's why I do a standing one instead. So going back into an incline press. This is set number 2. So if you're just joining us, we're working at building muscle using dumbbells. So we're going to be working on the upper chest muscles, the triceps, and some of that front of your shoulder as well, that anterior deltoid. So from here, you're going to push your legs up, get the dumbbells in position, chest out, arched back, and you can have your feet on the floor. From here, keeping your hands wide, don't let the dumbbells come together. You're gonna go out to the front. Now I'm not locking my elbow. I'm coming up to a slight bend in my elbow where I keep tension on the muscle the whole time. From here, every time you tap your chest is a rep. So trying to get 10 reps. Now, if you can't do 10 with that dumbbell, try a slightly lighter dumbbell. Especially if you can't get to 5, that means that dumbbell's a little too heavy for muscle building. It's really good for strength, but not as much for muscle building, which combines that strength and endurance. And one more. And relax. Dropping those dumbbells to your legs, tipping forward, and standing up. Need to figure out a better way of doing this where I'm not moving the bench each time. Let's try the supported row for this next one, because I think that doing a supported row, you can show how to do that as well. That way I don't have to move the bench quite so much. So the hard part with this one for me is going to be not hitting that bar. So I want to have my chest high enough where I'm not going to hit into the parts of the bench. So from here, same thing, I'm pulling up to my rib cage. So letting the dumbbell completely hang and then pulling up to the rib cage and then back. Trying for at least 10 of these. If you can get more, do more. Go to where you feel the muscle tiring out. That's 10. Let's see if I can get to 13. 11, 12, and 13. Now, one of the limitations of this exercise is that it does not strengthen your low back nearly as much to do this variation. So if you don't have back pain, it can definitely help to try a bent over row. Start working and strengthening your rector spinae, which are the muscles that run along your spine and low back. So those stabilizing muscles in your spine. So that was set number 2. I like to take just a minute or two between sets to let my heart rate come back down. If you want to work on your cardio at the same time, you can go one set to the next set right away, and I'll get you through it faster, but you probably will feel more tired by the end. So, and sometimes when you're doing really fatiguing movements, especially in the legs, sometimes your cardiovascular endurance can be the limiting factor. So that can mean you want to take a little bit more time between sets, and let me put the water bottle down. So taking a little more time between sets gives you a little bit better muscle building instead of having it just being the heart cardiovascular building. So that's why I like to take a minute between sets, then go to the next one so I'm not limited in what my muscle can build. All right, one more set of incline press, and then we'll do one more set of rows. This will be set number 3. So, starting on your knees, into position, should really feel this in your chest. Now, if you can't do as many on this last set, that is okay. Only go to where you feel that fatigue build up in the muscle. You might be a few reps down on the last set because the muscle is already fatigued from the previous sets. Two more. And 11. All right. Now, if you feel like you're not able to do the correct form, where you feel like you're really wobbly, that can be a sign that you need to either drop the weight or your muscle is so tired you need to stop there. That is okay. That means you got everything you could out of the muscle. So, if you feel wobbly or like it's not stable, don't feel like you have to push through that. I'll move this out of the way for a minute. So, last set of bent over rows. So pushing your hips to the back, letting the arms hang, chest pointed towards the ground, but back straight. You're gonna pull up to your rib cage. Now on this one, my hands are at a 45-degree angle, so it's not gonna hit me in the knee. You feel that in your upper back, in the traps and the lats. One more. And relax. All right. Now, the traps are the muscles that run along the top of your shoulder. Lats run along your rib cage all the way into your low back. And then we also are working some of the bicep, which is in the front of your arm right in here. So a lot of muscles involved in this movement. Take a minute, catch your breath. Next, we're going to be working the muscles in the arms, in the front and back. So I like to cover the chest and back with that first set of exercises, and then really hone in on the arms with the second set. Because personally, I like to have a little bit larger arms, a little more muscle building in that. I feel like the bicep is a hard muscle for me to target, and so I like to spend a little extra into it. So if that sounds good to you, let me know by hitting a like if you like this sort of workout. So then this next exercise is going to use a bench. However, you could do this laying on a bed as well if you don't have a bench. And for this, we're going to go a much lighter weight. So, grabbing a bench, and this is going to be a flat bench. Now, I don't need to do a warm-up on this exercise because my arms are already warmed up from the previous two. So we're just gonna go straight into the next exercise. So for this, we're gonna start with working the tricep, which runs right along the back of the arm. There's 3 pieces of that muscle. We're gonna be hitting all 3, but especially what's called the long head of the tricep, which is a big piece of muscle that runs from your elbow up into your shoulder blade. So to target this, we're gonna do what's called a skull crusher or tricep extension. Now, very important, even though it's called a skull crusher, you don't wanna hit yourself in the head with these dumbbells. So be very careful. So for the skull crusher, you're gonna have your hands up above your shoulders, and then from here, you're gonna bend your elbow, tap the bench right beside your head, and then back out. That's gonna be 1 rep. So we're gonna do at least 10 of those. So try and go for 10 reps. So starting out in front of your shoulder, let me know if you have questions in the chat. Bend your elbow, tap, and back out straight. You should feel this in the back of your arm. Now it's important, you want to keep your elbows tucked in. That's what's going to keep that tension on the back of your arm, not using your chest. If you feel it in your chest, your elbows are flaring out too much. So keep those elbows in. And the other important thing is keep your arms right above your shoulder. Don't let them drop down towards your feet. 3 more, 3 more. 2 more. Last one. And relax. So that'll hit that tricep in the back of your arm, really elongates that muscle in a stretch position, which is the most muscle building for that muscle. Now we're gonna do the same thing with the bicep. So that's the front of your arm. What you're gonna do is palms up this time. What you're gonna do, starting from here, we're gonna try and stretch that bicep as much as possible. So to do that, we're gonna drop the dumbbell down, tap the ground, and then back up. So you should feel that really elongate that muscle at your inside of your elbow. Really trying to tap, just tap the ground, don't set the dumbbell down. Going for at least 10 of these. If you need to drop the weight, that's okay. Grab a lighter dumbbell. If your head comes off the ground or off the mat a little bit, that's okay. 3 more. 2 more. Last one. And up. And that is a bicep bench curl. I've also heard it called a drag curl. Let me know if you guys have heard a different name for that. Hey, Shoya, welcome. Good to see you. Just gonna take a minute between sets. We're working on muscle building for the arms today. How are you doing today? I'm gonna grab a quick sip of water. So we're gonna be trying for 3 sets of these to build up the muscles in the arms. Let me know if there's another muscle that you want to target in the upper body today. We can see if we can work in an exercise for that as well. Man, those always take so much out of my arms to do. Now, with this exercise, if you feel like you can't get to 10, but you can do more than 5, that's still okay. As long as you're not going so heavy on the dumbbell weight that you can't get to 5, you're still okay for muscle building at that point. It might even be, you might build muscle below that, but typically, most people build more muscle in that 5+ rep range. So, All right, going back to skull crushers. Just like the name of this, to be honest, I like to call them tricep extensions. Let me know in the comments what you like to have them called. I just find the name skull crusher to be really off-putting. Shoya says it's 12 a.m. sharp, just studying and while checking my favorite people. Hey, thanks for being here. I appreciate you too. Good on you. What are you studying? That's really late at night. So midnight. I always forget that you're on the other side of the world. Right now it is about 11:30 here. It's always good to have you. Hopefully you're getting the rest you need though. So, going into skull crushers next. Starting with your hands right above your shoulders. And then bring your hands down just past your ears and then back up. Going for about 10. Two more. And last one, push up, and 10. And from here, going straight into our bicep curl. So starting with your hands pointing straight up, palms facing up too. Dropping your hands down to the ground, tap the ground, and then come back up. Now it's important to tap the ground on both sides. We don't want an uneven bicep curl. Give me a thumbs up on the video if this is the first time you've seen this curl done. I only found out about it recently. I've been lifting for a long time. Last one. And 10. So Shoya, computer science now and later it will be physics, I feel. Hey, those are great fields to go into. I know several people who have studied computer science that are now doing programming. And even if you go into physics, that's still a good base to know how to program even in physics, I feel. Or know how to be doing coding and things. Because my understanding is physics actually uses a lot of computer modeling as well. So those are great fields. Hope you do well in your studies. That's awesome. Just gonna sit here for a minute. We got one more set to do. Yeah, I know for me, I studied kinesiology, so we had some physics, and then we took that physics and applied it to biomechanics. So a lot of that was more specific to the physics in the human body. But computer science, I feel like is a really applicable field to a lot of different things. You can do a lot of variety of things with it. So we're just taking a minute between, letting the muscles recover, especially the later you go in your workout, usually the longer the recovery time you need. I'm gonna move just a little bit more here so my head's not cut off. I'm watching my heart rate, letting it come back down a little bit, letting my muscle recover. Right now, my muscle feels like it's trembling a little bit. I really pushed that muscle to lift. So I'm letting that relax a little so that I can still do one more set, get everything I can out of that muscle group. I know with some med students actually got in the habit of working out as they studied. And I think that's a great double tasking. And sometimes that can actually help some people remember better because they have the adrenaline going from the workout, which helps cement that information in their brain. So, what kind of music do I like while working out? I like to listen to something with a good beat, usually. I have music playing in the stream, but I can't hear it because then you would hear it over the mic I have. So right now I don't listen to music while working out, just because of the stream. I'm doing all my workouts on stream because I want to encourage people to work out. What do you think of the music that's playing on the stream? Do you like it, or do you think, no, I'd rather listen to my own music? I'd love to hear, because I find that most people like to have music going, but maybe they don't like this music. So let me know what you think of the music on stream right now. Just about ready to start back up, another 30 seconds or so. Oh, did the music cut out? I think it actually did. But yeah, I use this music because it's Stream Beats, which is great. I like their stuff. They do music you're allowed to use on stream because it's not copyrighted. Current one is Soothing. Yeah, I probably should go back through my music library and see, because I want to have it less soothing, a little bit more upbeat. Just because we're working out, relaxation is good, but you don't want to relax as you're working out. You want to work hard and then get done. Do you like the music, or it doesn't quite fit for you? I know I'm asking a lot about that, but since you brought it up. Okay, one more set. So doing skull crushers. And bench curls. So starting with that tricep extension, dropping the weight down to your ear, and then back up. Try and keep those elbows tucked in. Three more. 9, last one, and 10. Oh. And then now doing one more set of curls, dropping the dumbbell down to the floor, and then curling back up. 1, 2, 3. Keep on going. Oh man, trying to lift your pinky as you lift to really emphasize that bicep. Last one. And 10. Oh. Hello, Hasib? Let me know if I'm pronouncing your name right. Hello. It's good to have you. Welcome. So it's Shoya and it's Hasib. Hopefully I'm not butchering your guys' names. Let me know if you want it to be pronounced a little differently. I'll do my best. So you said I'm suffering from a Bankart lesion injury on my shoulder. So doctor suggested me to strengthen my shoulder. I'd have to look into that lesion. I'm not as familiar with that. But he said to strengthen your shoulder, a great exercise for strengthening these deltoid muscles is doing a lateral raise and a face pull are the two exercises I really like. So yeah, I can definitely show you an exercise for that. Let me just drop the weight. So I would start with a light dumbbell for this. So for the shoulder, strengthening these muscles here. Hang on a moment. By the way, the curls you're doing, I first was in the video with Renaissance periodization. Hey, that's where I heard about it too, actually, with Dr. Mike. I think it was a really interesting exercise, and I really like how it hits that bicep in a completely different way. Yeah, I think they have some very good information on that channel. Definitely like a lot of what they say. So for the shoulder though, if you're looking to strengthen that deltoid, what you're gonna do, hold the dumbbell right at your side, and you're gonna lean away from that shoulder. So you could do this against a wall, just leaning away. And that's gonna put tension on that deltoid muscle. From here, lifting up to the side and then back. I'd start with only going as high as your shoulder and then gently back down to your side. You should feel that working in this deltoid muscle right in here. I do 10 reps of that each side and see how that feels on your shoulder. So that'll strengthen the deltoid muscle. Now some of these small muscles in the back, I do what's called a face pull. So for that, you're gonna lean forward and then let your arm hang down. From here, you're going to bring your hand up to your ear. So twisting up, again, with a really light dumbbell. So from here, you're not curling like a bicep curl. Let me show you from the front. I'm bringing my hand up to the side like a W. And that'll strengthen all these little muscles in the back, strengthen that rotator cuff, and it's a really good exercise. You could even do this starting without a dumbbell if it's too heavy. Just get the motion down, pinching your shoulder back and bringing your hand up to your ear level. And that's where I would start with for strengthening the muscles in your shoulder. Doesn't take a really heavy dumbbell. You can do this with even a very light dumbbell or a water bottle. If you have a 16-ounce water bottle, you could do that with that too, just to start out. Fill it up with water. That way you get about a pound of weight, and that will let you build up the strength in your shoulder gradually. So you say left shoulder. So if you're left, so this is, let's see, this would be your left, my right, but so this will strengthen the left shoulder, and then also dumbbell in your left hand, lifting up towards your left ear. That's called a face pull, or a W is the other name for it, because it's like, if you look at my hands, I'm sort of creating a W shape with my body. So you could do this with two hands. Like this, leaning forward, pulling up past your head. And try those, let me know how it goes. Excellent. So I hope that helps. If you like this sort of content and want to see more, I host these live streams Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. So thank you guys for being here, and Hope to see you guys next time. We're gonna call it a day here. Take care.